Learning to drive on Pleasure Island. I don't know much about the homes themselves, but for me, this area has a history. It's where I learned to drive. I was 16 in the late 80s and in town for the summer, staying with my grandparents and working at Howard's Grocery. My family collectively decided it was time for me to get my driver's license, which is another story. The roads in that area had recently been put in, and there were no houses, fences, or developments or anything there. So my grandfather decided it was a good place for me to practice driving in a full-size van from the 70s. It didn't handle too well, but it didn't matter in that area. My lessons would start with him driving me there over the MLK Bridge. Once we got to Pleasure Island, we would pull over to the side, and I would take over and drive what seemed to be forever down the island road. Then we would pull into that development, and I would just circle around and around, practicing all manners of turns, backups, stops, lane keeping, and more. The only thing that I could have hit was a fire hydrant or two. There was nothing there but pavement. I remember one time it started to rain really hard, a typical PA summer rain shower, and I just kept driving. We went back several times. My other grandfather decided to get in on the action, and soon I found myself driving around the empty roads with two old men getting increasingly drunk as I drove. I always wondered how those roads with no homes got built. I guess it was someone's development dream. Looking now at how much space there is some 30 plus years later, it doesn't look like the dream was fully realized. The area is gated off now. I don't know if anyone really lives there full time. They look more like vacation homes than residences. But for myself, I'll always remember that place with a combination of fondness and a little bit terror for how I grew that summer.